What you're about to witness will shatter everything you thought you knew about John Cena. The so-called good guy of WWE just committed the most brutal and unforgivable assault in SmackDown history, and the wrestling world is in absolute chaos. Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate himself, was left bloody and broken after what can only be described as a vicious, premeditated attack that has fans demanding answers and calling for Cena's immediate suspension. This isn't the John Cena you grew up watching. This isn't the hero who preached, "Never give up." What happened on Friday Night SmackDown was nothing short of a character assassination that has completely destroyed Cena's legacy in just 15 minutes of pure, unbridled violence. The footage we're about to show you is so shocking that WWE officials initially refused to air it. Social media is exploding with outrage, with hashtag Cena is a coward trending worldwide as fans express their disgust and betrayal. Some are even calling it the most despicable act in WWE history, surpassing even the most heinous villainous turns we've ever witnessed. But here's what makes this attack even more infuriating: this wasn't a heat-of-the-moment decision. The evidence we've uncovered suggests this was a calculated, methodical assault planned weeks in advance. John Cena, the man who built his career on respect and honor, orchestrated what can only be described as an ambush that would make even the most ruthless WWE villains cringe with embarrassment. The attack began during what appeared to be a routine contract signing segment for their upcoming WrestleMania match. Lesnar, who had been surprisingly respectful throughout their recent interactions, was caught completely off guard when Cena suddenly snapped and launched into what witnesses are calling the most brutal beatdown in SmackDown history. Security footage reveals that Cena had been pacing backstage for over an hour before the segment, clearly agitated and plotting his next move. Multiple WWE superstars have come forward to reveal that Cena had been acting strange and aggressive in the weeks leading up to this incident, with some claiming he had been asking suspicious questions about Lesnar's schedule and whereabouts. The attack itself was so vicious that even hardcore wrestling fans are questioning whether they can continue supporting someone who would commit such an act of cowardice. Cena didn't just attack Lesnar, he systematically targeted every vulnerable part of the beast's body with surgical precision, using weapons that he had clearly hidden around the ring area beforehand. What makes this even more disgusting is that Lesnar had his back turned when the assault began. The beast was in the middle of signing the contract, completely defenseless, when Cena struck him with what appeared to be a steel chair wrapped in a towel to muffle the sound. The crowd's initial cheers quickly turned to horrified silence as they realized what they were witnessing wasn't entertainment, it was a real assault. The most shocking moment came when Cena grabbed a microphone and began screaming at the unconscious Lesnar, revealing years of built-up jealousy and resentment that no one saw coming. His words were so venomous and hateful that WWE was forced to cut the audio feed, but lip readers on social media have already begun transcribing his explosive rant. "You think you're better than me," Cena reportedly screamed. "You think you can just waltz back into my company whenever you feel like it and steal my spotlight? I built this place while you were playing dress-up in UFC, and I'm tired of pretending to respect you." But the verbal assault was nothing compared to the physical brutality that followed. Cena continued his attack for what felt like an eternity, using everything from steel steps to announce tables to inflict maximum damage on the helpless Lesnar. The Beast, known for his incredible durability and fighting spirit, was left motionless in a pool of his own blood as Cena stood over him like a psychopath. The most disturbing aspect of this entire incident is how methodical and calculated Cena's assault appeared to be. This wasn't a wrestler losing his temper in the heat of competition, this was a premeditated attack designed to end Lesnar's career and send a message to anyone who dares challenge Cena's position in the company. WWE officials, who were clearly caught off guard by Cena's explosive outburst, scrambled to restore order as EMTs rushed to attend to Lesnar's injuries. The Beast had to be stretchered out of the arena, and early reports suggest he may have suffered significant injuries that could keep him out of action for months. What makes this attack even more infuriating is the cowardly way Cena executed it. Instead of challenging Lesnar to a fair fight like a man, he chose to attack from behind when his opponent was completely defenseless. This goes against everything Cena has preached throughout his career about respect, honor, and fighting fair. The wrestling community is divided like never before, with some fans defending Cena's actions as a long overdue reality check for the part-time Lesnar, while others are calling for his immediate termination from WWE. Social media platforms are flooded with heated debates, death threats, and calls for boycotts that have WWE executives in panic mode. Former WWE superstars have also weighed in on the controversy, with many expressing their shock and disappointment in Cena's actions. Stone Cold Steve Austin reportedly called the attack Bush League, while The Rock took to Instagram to express his disgust with his former rival's behavior. But here's where the story gets even more explosive. Insider sources are revealing that this attack may have been years in the making. Backstage rumors suggest that Cena has been harboring deep resentment toward Lesnar ever since the Beast's return to WWE in 2012, feeling that Lesnar's part-time status and massive contract undermined everything Cena had worked to build. the evidence is overwhelming. Multiple WWE employees have come forward with stories of Cena making disparaging comments about Lesnar behind closed doors, questioning his commitment to the company and expressing jealousy over his special treatment from management. One anonymous source claims that Cena once said he was tired of carrying the company while part-timers like Lesnar collect paychecks. The financial implications of this incident are staggering. WrestleMania, WWE's biggest event of the year, now faces potential cancellation of one of its marquee matches. Ticket holders are demanding refunds, corporate sponsors are reconsidering their partnerships, and stock prices have already begun to plummet as investors lose confidence in WWE's ability to control its talent. What's even more shocking is the revelation that Cena may have violated his WWE contract with this attack. Legal experts are suggesting that his actions could constitute criminal assault, potentially opening him up to both civil and criminal charges. The fact that the incident was broadcast live on television provides undeniable evidence that could be used against him in court. The ripple effects of this attack are being felt throughout the entire wrestling industry. AEW President Tony Khan has already made public statements condemning Cena's actions, while other promotions are distancing themselves from any association with the former WWE champion. This single incident may have destroyed not just Cena's reputation, but his entire career. But the most disturbing revelation is yet to come. According to multiple sources within WWE, this attack was just the beginning of a much larger and more sinister plot. Cena allegedly has a list of wrestlers he feels have received preferential treatment over the years, and Lesnar was simply the first target in what could become a series of brutal attacks. The psychological profile emerging of John Cena is terrifying. Sports psychologists are suggesting that years of maintaining his good guy persona while dealing with the pressures of being WWE's top star may have finally caused him to snap in the most violent way possible. His carefully constructed public image was apparently nothing more than a mask hiding years of built-up rage and resentment. The most chilling aspect of this entire situation is how cold and calculated Cena appeared during the attack. Witnesses report that he showed no emotion whatsoever as he systematically destroyed Lesnar, suggesting a level of psychological detachment that is genuinely frightening to contemplate. WWE's response to this crisis has been pathetic and inadequate. Instead of immediately suspending Cena and launching a full investigation, company officials have remained silent, leading to speculation that they're trying to cover up the incident to protect their investment in their former golden boy. The fan reaction has been unprecedented in its intensity and division. Social media platforms are being flooded with heated debates that are threatening to tear the WWE Universe apart. Hashtag Justice for Lesnar and hashtag Cena is a coward are trending simultaneously with hashtag Cena was right and hashtag Beast got checked, creating a social media war that shows no signs of cooling down. But perhaps the most shocking development is the revelation that other WWE superstars may have been complicit in this attack. Surveillance footage allegedly shows several wrestlers turning away or leaving the area just before Cena's assault began, suggesting they may have had advance warning of what was about to happen. The investigation into this incident is revealing a web of conspiracy and betrayal that goes deeper than anyone initially imagined. Text messages and social media posts are being analyzed for clues about who knew what and when, and the results are shocking longtime WWE fans who thought they knew their favorite superstars. Medical reports on Lesnar's condition are being kept secret by WWE officials, but leaked information suggests his injuries are far more severe than initially reported. Sources close to the Beast are claiming he may never be able to compete at the same level again, making Cena's attack not just cowardly but potentially career-ending. The legal ramifications of this incident are becoming clearer by the hour. Criminal lawyers are lining up to represent Lesnar in what could become the biggest lawsuit in wrestling history, while Cena's legal team is reportedly scrambling to limit their client's liability in what appears to be an indefensible case. Corporate sponsors are already beginning to abandon WWE in the wake of this controversy. Major advertisers are pulling their support, claiming they cannot be associated with a company that allows such violent and unprofessional behavior from its performers. The financial impact could be devastating for a company already struggling with declining ratings and fan interest. The international wrestling community is condemning Cena's actions in the strongest possible terms. Wrestling promotions around the world are expressing their disgust and making it clear that such behavior would never be tolerated in their organizations. Cena's reputation as a global ambassador for professional wrestling has been utterly destroyed in a single night. But the most infuriating aspect of this entire situation is Cena's complete lack of remorse for his actions. Sources close to the situation report that he has shown no regret whatsoever for his brutal assault on Lesnar, instead seeming proud of what he accomplished and defiant in the face of criticism. This arrogance and complete disregard for the consequences of his actions is what makes the situation so infuriating for wrestling fans around the world. The man they once looked up to as a hero has revealed himself to be nothing more than a selfish, violent individual who put his own petty grievances above the safety and well-being of a fellow performer. The psychological damage to young WWE fans who idolized Cena cannot be understated. Child psychologists are already warning parents about the potential trauma their children may experience from watching their hero commit such a vicious and unprovoked attack. The "never give up" catchphrase now rings hollow and hypocritical given Cena's cowardly actions. Wrestling legends from previous generations are expressing their shock and disappointment with how far the industry has fallen. Icons like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage never engaged in such unprofessional and dangerous behavior, even during their most heated rivalries. Cena's actions represent a new low for professional wrestling. The cover-up attempts by WWE officials are becoming more obvious and desperate by the hour. Their refusal to release the full, unedited footage of the incident is raising serious questions about what they're trying to hide. Fans are demanding transparency and accountability, but WWE continues to stonewall and deflect. Independent investigators hired by wrestling journalists are uncovering evidence that this attack may have been planned and coordinated with certain WWE officials who were looking for a way to write Lesnar out of his contract. If true, this would represent the biggest conspiracy in wrestling history and could result in criminal charges for multiple individuals. The impact on WWE's upcoming WrestleMania event cannot be overstated. What was supposed to be a celebration of wrestling excellence has now been overshadowed by this act of cowardice and violence. Ticket sales have plummeted, and many fans are calling for complete boycotts of the event. Medical experts reviewing the footage of the attack are expressing horror at the level of violence displayed. Several have gone on record stating that Cena's assault could have easily resulted in permanent disability or even death for Lesnar, making his actions not just unprofessional but potentially criminal. The revelation that this may have been part of a larger pattern of abusive behavior by Cena is sending shockwaves through the wrestling community. Former colleagues are beginning to come forward with stories of intimidation and bullying that paint a picture of a man who used his position of power to terrorize those around him. But perhaps most disturbing of all is the growing evidence that WWE management may have been aware of Cena's psychological issues and chose to ignore them rather than get him the help he clearly needed. This negligence and irresponsibility puts not just other wrestlers but fans and staff at serious risk. The international media coverage of this incident is devastating for WWE's global reputation. Major news outlets around the world are running stories about the violent and unprofessional nature of American professional wrestling, using Cena's attack as evidence of an industry out of control. Social media influencers and celebrity fans of wrestling are abandoning their support for WWE and Cena specifically. The hashtag #NeverForgetBeastAttack hashtag is gaining momentum as fans pledge to never support any project involving John Cena, potentially ending his career both inside and outside of wrestling. The psychological profile being compiled by experts paints a picture of a man who has been living a lie for years, suppressing his true nature behind a carefully constructed public persona. The explosion of violence we witnessed may be just the beginning of a complete psychological breakdown. Law enforcement agencies are reportedly considering their options regarding potential criminal charges against Cena. The fact that the assault was premeditated and broadcast live provides prosecutors with overwhelming evidence that could result in serious jail time for the former WWE champion. The ripple effects of this incident are being felt in every corner of the entertainment industry. Movie studios are reportedly reconsidering their relationships with Cena, and television networks are pulling reruns of his shows in response to the public outrage over his actions. This single incident has destroyed not just John Cena's career and reputation, but potentially the entire foundation of professional wrestling as entertainment. The violence and brutality displayed have crossed lines that can never be uncrossed, and the wrestling world may never recover from this devastating blow to its credibility. The truth about John Cena has finally been revealed, and it's more shocking and disturbing than anyone could have imagined. The hero millions of fans believed in was nothing more than a fraud, and his vicious attack on Brock Lesnar has exposed him for the coward and bully he truly is. This is a story that will be remembered as the day professional wrestling died, killed by the very man who was supposed to represent everything good about the industry.